Our next guest is the king of the blockbuster, a man whose films have raked in over $12 billion worldwide. He's the guy behind Top Gun, Pirates of the Caribbean, Bad Boys, and now he's roaring into the world of Formula One with the big star Brad Pitt. Jerry, congrats, man. This is Apple's biggest theatrical release. Man, you got to be riding high today. Congrats.
A good one, Gentry. It really is. It's one of those movies that's immersive. It's fun. You don't have to care anything about racing to love this movie. Brad Pitt is just amazing in it. He said, I'm not going to do this movie unless I'm actually driving. So he trained for 4 months along with Damson Idris to be able to get in these cars and drive them at 180 miles an hour and then breaking down to 50 and taking 5 Gs in the corners. It was brutal on these actors. But you know what? We had 15 camera angles on the car, 4 at a time. We had a special camera that can actually pan from Brad's face to a car passing him. Apple financed the movie, and we have 2 actual iPhone enhanced cameras that are put in 2 cars in 9 of the races, 2 of the actual F1 drivers driving them. So you're seeing them go at 220 miles an hour in some of the point of views. So it's spectacular, but again, it's not about the racing. You don't have to care anything about racing to love this movie. It's about a character journey. It's Rocky on steroids. And Damson Idris is going to be a huge star. He's amazing in this.
And from what I heard, Jerry, is that the first day of filming, you're getting ready to put stuff on to tape first day, and you're in front of over 100,000 people at Silverstone, and you got Brad Pitt, the star of the movie, getting behind the wheel of one of these machines. Theoretically, for a live audience for the first time, what was that day like? Because that's got to be intense recording, and you got to get it right quickly, I'm sure.
Well, he wasn't nervous. I was. So he got 140,000 live people watching. They didn't know he was in the car, and he got 100 million people on television around the world watching him go around that track. And boy, he was perfect. He didn't spin out. It was fantastic. I'm sure he was really happy when he got out of that car.
And what's the technical challenges when you're trying to film something when you have a moving object that I think you guys are going like 200 miles an hour plus, right, in the cars?
Yeah, he was going 180 on some of the straights. What we did is they trained for 4 months. We had 15 camera angles around the car, 4 at a time. It's something that it's so immersive. You feel like you're actually driving the car. When we showed it to the real drivers in Monaco, they said, that's the first time I've seen a film that really captures the experience of what it's like when we drive these cars.
Jerry, I know it's been, I think, 34 years since you guys made Days of Thunder, which I loved that racing movie as well. So I'm excited to go see the new movie F1 in theaters this weekend. But looking back, what's one filmmaking tool or technology that you wish you had 34 years ago that you're using on F1? Is it all these special cameras?
It's the special cameras because the cameras are a third the size of what we used in the past. We separate the batteries from the camera, and it's just the lens that's in a lens and a small body that's in the car. So it's spectacular, and they're IMAX quality cameras. So you're getting the most amazing experience when you're watching this movie. But again, it's about the character journey. It's funny, it's romantic, it's immersive. You really get sucked up into this world. And that's why you have to see it on the biggest screen in the cinema, because look at the audience applaud, they laugh, they cheer. You see tears in their eyes. It's one of those kind of 4-quadrant movies. We see whole families going to see the movie. It was the #1 movie around the world. For a movie that's not a sequel, that's really hard to do.
And from what I've been hearing from some of the fans coming out of the theater, that the sound is amazing, the camera angles are amazing, that even in IMAX, your seat is vibrating like you are behind the wheel of these vehicles. That's exciting to get that and capture that onto film.
Yeah, it's got an amazing score. Hans Zimmer, who's maybe the greatest living composer, did the score. Then you have Doja Cat, Tate McRae, Rose, Chris Stapleton, Ed Sheeran, Burna Boy, Tiesto on the soundtrack. The soundtrack is becoming a huge hit also, just off of 1 week in the theaters. Again, it's immersive, it's fun. If you love Top Gun Maverick, you're going to love this movie because it's done by the same team.
I've heard, Jerry, you say that Brad and Tom Cruise are very extremely hands-on when it comes to these films. They get into every detail. They're in the edit room. So they're very alike in that way. But what's something unique that distinguishes one guy from the other? What is special about Brad Pitt that Tom Cruise can't do?
Well, I don't. I think Tom can do anything, but if Brad said one thing he won't do is get in an airplane and hang out of it. But so that's he likes to keep things on the ground. Tom, I think Tom's missing a fear gene. I mean, he just will do anything. I mean, that sequence Mission is a terrific movie, and him hanging out of that airplane for like 20 minutes is insane.
They're both very talented, so you've been blessed to work with some great actors. And speaking of a great actor, who I think, in my opinion, in my view, Jack Sparrow, one of the greatest characters that was ever created on screen. Is there anybody that you can think of, a character that might match the character of Jack Sparrow, or someone in one of your movies or in other film history who could match that character in your opinion?
I don't think anybody can. It's a character he created whole cloth. He had his first child. He was watching a lot of cartoons. It's a little bit of Pepe Le Pew and Keith Richards. Is that how that character came to life? It was not on the page the way it was written. He put all the gold teeth in. He put the swagger in. You weren't sure if he was straight or gay or drunk or what. But that's Johnny. He's a master. He's an amazing actor. Look at between Johnny, Brad, and Tom, and some of the other great Will Smith that I've worked with. They're really gifted, and that's why they're in these movies, because they're really talented. I'm just lucky enough to be able to work with them.
I can't look at Keith Richards the same now. All I think about is him drinking rum and being a pirate every time I see Keith now. But that's amazing that they came up with that. And did that happen right away on the set, that Johnny came in with this completely prepared, or is this something that happened over weeks, over months, or was it just like that?
No, he created that character whole cloth. He walked on the set and did it, and it freaked out Disney. He said, "Oh my God, is this guy drunk? What is going on?" And so we had to cut some sequences together to make them understand the humor and the fun of the character.
And there is some scripts I heard that are running around and some reboots. Will there be a Pirates sequel? Another one?
We're trying. We'll get there. I'm just running around right now promoting F1, the movie. Again, it is thrilling. You don't have to be a race fanatic to see this movie. Women love it as much as men.
And I think that this is some of the first time you'll ever see these kind of shots on cinema. Just seeing some of the highlights from the film, these cars when they wreck, and the camera follows the entire process of the accident. There's also love in this, and then the competition within F1. I know that that's a brand that's very protective of their brand. So how hard was it to get F1 on board to allow you guys to do this movie?
It was a year's process to convince F1 to let us lean in and be the 11th team. There are 10 teams, 2 drivers to each team. It's the only sport in the world where your teammate is your competitor. And that's really unusual. But what happened, we had to convince the teams of is they weren't going to be the villains. Mercedes built our car, and Mercedes and Red Bull were having a real competition this season when we shot it. So the Red Bull was for sure going to be the villain. And we had to convince them, no, you're not the villain. It's the competition between our 2 drivers. That's what the story is about. And they leaned in, and the drivers, when they saw it in Monaco, said that that's the first time they've seen a movie that actually shows the experience of what it's like driving one of these cars.
You talked about the music that plays such a big role in all your movies, and a lot, even the themes from all your films. Top Gun, I think, A Danger Zone back in those days, and Kenny Loggins, and then those great Pirates themes, and Doja Cat is now on the soundtrack for this particular movie. But we actually have a site here called Audio Swamp where we have over 3,000 cuts that we make for the content that we create, and we're all musicians here and radio guys. What's some advice you would give to us if we want to be the next Hans Zimmer and score a movie? We have the product. What should we do with all of this content we've created to get it seen and heard? Because I'm really proud of what we've been working on for the last 5 years.
Well, it's always about the melodies. That's it. You take great melodies, cut interesting visuals to them, you'll have something really special. That's what Hans does. And all these artists have written really big hit songs. It was done by Atlantic Records, Kevin Weaver, who curated and put together the soundtrack along with Joe and myself. It was really a lot of fun putting it together. But the real fun is when you see a scene and you hear Hans's music. It's romantic, it's enveloping, it's emotional. You really feel something. We're in the transportation business. We take you inside a world you'll never be a part of, and show it how it really is. And that's what F1 the movie is.
Go see F1 the movie in theaters now and breaking the box office. You continue to impress us, Jerry. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Thanks, Gentry. Appreciate you having me.